Hello, my name is Jacinto Velasquez. One moment, I'm trying to get the screen share to work. Okay. Hello, my name is Jacinto Velasquez. Juliana Cameron is my partner, and the company that we have chosen to talk about is Uber. So I'm doing the second part of the presentation. So Juliana should have sent you the part or her part already. So I'll just get into it. The first slide that I wanted to talk about for Uber was responsibility. So I wanted to talk about points that they've done prior to COVID and things that they're doing now that COVID has come up. So I think one of the biggest ones is no mask, no ride, which basically just ensures like the safety of all passengers, drivers, or passengers in the vehicle, that they have a safe environment. And I mean, most Ubers as well will have like a protective screen that also separates them and just creates like a little bit of extra space so people can feel freely like as they ride. And then they also have to keep the mask on for the entire ride. Um, Another one is door-to-door safety standards. So that one's a little bit more for Uber Eats, and it basically just ensures that people get like their food, or their food is kept like sanitized. Yeah. And then like drivers just have to wash their hands like in and out. So once they pick up the food, they have to wash their hands, and then once they get back in the car, sanitize them, and then same thing as they're delivering them. Another feature that Uber has for drivers is mass verification. So every time a driver gets ready to uh, clock in, as one would say, they have to send Uber a selfie of them with a mask on, just to make sure that they're following like safety codes. And then the final one uh, for COVID is a partnership with Clorox. So every Uber vehicle has Clorox wipes available now, and it's basically just so like in case anything needs to be cleaned up, they're able to do so. And then so if passengers request to have a Clorox wipe as well, they can. And then another thing that Uber has done with responsibility is background checks on all drivers. I remember that was an issue when Uber first came up, that not a lot of people were being background checked, and some of the riders were a little bit sketchy, but that's something that they've worked on since. And then another feature is a in-app 911 assistance button. So essentially, if anything happens within or while you're in your ride, like a car crash, or you just don't feel safe with your driver, there's a there's a button within the app that you can just press, and it'll dial 911 for your local 911. And then there's also ride check technology. It's virtually the same thing. And rider protection. So actually, every Uber passenger has protection from insurance companies that Uber has partnered with. So that's another way, like in case anything happens, you can feel a little bit safer knowing that. My next slide, pardon, I have to move my screen. My next slide is sustainability. So uh, sustainability is one of the biggest issues that my generation is very passionate about, and Uber has decided that they will be fully electric and zero emissions by the year 2040. So there's a big step for Uber. Definitely being a huge like emission wasting company, I would say, especially with their many drivers and many vehicles. There's a big thing. So Uber will achieve this by offering riders more ways to ride green. So there's Uber Green already, but this is just another step. So there'll be more electric cars, maybe some Teslas, I don't know. They're also going to be helping drivers go electric. So they'll help with like car payments for drivers, and just like try to get like newer eco-friendlier vehicles for drivers. Not really sure how that's going to work out for them, but it's one of the points that they mentioned on their website, and making transparency a priority, and a partnership with NGOs. So transparency, just being honest with their customers, and making sure that their drivers understand their responsibilities as well. And then there's also Uber Green, which I talked about already, just more electric vehicles that they're already offering. And then they've also partnership with or they're starting to do partnership with transit companies. So not too sure how that one's gonna work out, especially because I would assume that it's a rival for Uber. And then bikes and scooters as well. So that's another way of going green for them, is offering alternatives instead of a vehicle ride. Maybe you want to bike to work, and I know that they have a partnership with some biking companies and scooter companies as well. Just more ways for them to go green. Here are some of the campaigns that Uber has done. So this one is a very popular one. It's which just launched because of the Black Lives Matter movement events that happened this year. It's basically that Uber does not tolerate racism, and if you can't agree with that, just delete the app, which I think is a very powerful message, especially for a huge company like Uber to be able to turn down potential customers like that. And they've been very vocal on Twitter about the Black Lives Matter movement. Here is a little truck that they set up, encouraging people to vote, especially, I mean, the year 2020. I feel like a lot of people are more passionate about voting this year than they have been in years prior, and getting people to vote or suppress people to vote is a big thing. I am very excited to vote, I would assume, or I would say so. And here's another one. Uber has also done a lot of steps towards providing LGBTQ plus members with opportunities not only to work at Uber but also have like an impact on society. And Uber is also a company that does not discriminate people and is all for inclusion, which is really great. And then I decided to do a slide of not so good things that Uber has done. I can't really think of a better title, but I like it. So one of the things that Uber has been known for is underpaying their drivers. So not classifying them as actual employees and instead as independent contractors. I know that in California a couple of days ago, Uber and Lyft were both, or a bill was passed for Uber and Lyft, basically saying that that's not all right, and they have to actually have them be contract employees now, which would include benefits now and other amenities. I also read an article about a driver in Germany not complying with the safety protocols for COVID. So they refused to wear a mask, and they got mad that the passengers were wearing a mask and insisted that the driver should be wearing a mask because, I mean, COVID is a very serious thing, and if people feel uncomfortable with that, then I think they have a right to voice that, especially if it's an Uber driver that is not doing it. Especially with Uber encouraging or basically saying that all drivers have to wear their masks all drivers and passengers have to wear masks during the rides. There's not really, I would feel like the selfie thing, as good as it sounds, like it's not really a valid way of like making sure that they're keeping their mask on, because a lot of people can just take the selfie and then take it off as soon as they do it. And then also income variability. So I mean, depending on the ride and the destination, not no two drivers are going to get paid the same. You're probably looking for, or like the price will fluctuate every once in a while, and especially like once you get into like ride sharing. So ride sharing is a feature where two individuals can purchase like an Uber ride for cheaper, but it also creates more work because they won't get dropped off at the same destination. So if my buddy and I live in like different apartments, then we could share an Uber and we would pay half the price for both of us to get to our places back, but the Uber driver would not gain any more money from that. So that's kind of terrible because they're doing double the work for the same amount of price. Rating system, so each driver has to maintain, like, I believe it's a 4.5 rating, which, like I said, a lot of factors come into that. Um, so for people not having like a great experience, they might rate their driver really low, and if they don't maintain that like 2 or 4.5 rating, then they can no longer be an Uber driver. Uh, and then another flaw is the fare cuts. So Uber actually takes about 20%, I believe, from each Uber drive. So that's just, or each Uber drive. So that's just more money being taken out of drivers' um, pockets. And then passenger centric culture hurts driver retention. So like a lot of these issues that I've brought up revolve around customers, which is great because Uber cares about their customers, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to retain drivers if they don't feel like they're getting their benefits or their rightful amount of money. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you. I apologize for stuttering so much. I was a bit nervous doing this, but I'm definitely got it. I got it out of the way. Thank you.